Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Brooke if you're new here, and today I am going to be showing you guys my 2024 TBR. Now, TBR stands for to be read if you did not know what that stands for. But yeah, so my goal for this coming year is 40 books because I'm on my 30th book right now, and I probably won't finish it before the end of the year. So I'm going to try and read 10 more books than that. So I tried to pick 40 books that I wanted to read because this year I want to do some rereads of books that were my favorites a long time ago, but it just didn't work out because I didn't realize some of the books I had are actually in series. And also there's also a lot of other books that I still have on my Amazon wish list that I still want to read. So I might end up if I don't feel like reading any of the books I have currently, I might just go get new books. So the TBR is not exactly set in stone, but these are just the books I have right now that I really want to hopefully read before the end of the year. But will it actually happen? We shall see. So yeah, I have a couple of different categories of books that I want to read. So yeah, I'll be explaining that in my next clips. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get to it. So the categories of books I have are new books that are a priority for me that I want to read, that I definitely want to read this year. And then newer books for me that aren't really a priority, but I still want to read them this year. And then older books that are a priority that I want to reread. And then older books that aren't as a priority that I want to reread. So these books that I'm going to be showing you guys first are definitely what I am going to read this year. These books are definitely set in stone for what I'm going to read. These are books that I'm definitely going to end up reading this year because, I really want them. So the first book, also this is in no specific order of how I'm going to read it exactly. So the first book I have up is Hooked, and this is also a series. I don't have the other books. But yeah, I actually didn't realize that this was a series of books. This is one of the ones that I realized wasn't a series, but I actually got this book for Christmas, and it's a dark retelling of Peter Pan, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Peter Pan. But yeah, I wanted to read at least one dark romance book like I did last year. I think I'm gonna keep doing dark romance one. So yeah, I wanted to read that. And then I got this book, The Way I Am Now. I've been waiting for this book for a while because I really like The Way I Used to Be this book. I already read this book, but I'm going to do a reread of it so I can read this book because I read this book a while ago and I don't really remember what happened, but I remember loving it. So yeah, I'll be doing a reread of this one so I can read the next book. And then I also want to read the Twisted series. I've had this book in my TBR for ages now, and I just never got to it because I had other priority books, but I am definitely reading it this year because I see so much hype around it, and I want to know what it's all about. I want to read it so bad. So next, I'm actually reading this book next. I'm reading All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I know Colleen Hoover is a controversial author, but my aunt loaned this to me, so I figured I'd read it. And I'm currently reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I kind of just want an easy read to not put me, because this book's kind of putting me in a book slump and taking me a while to read. So I want an easy read after that, and I find Colleen Hoover books an easy read, so that's why. And then I want to finish the Folk of the Air series because the book I was reading before The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was The Cruel Prince. So I got The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing for Christmas as well. So I would definitely be finishing those after I read All Your Perfects. I'm going to start on these. And then I also want to read Wildfire, which is a book by the same author that wrote Icebreaker, so I'm super excited to read that. And now we have newer books that I have that aren't really a priority to me, but I still want to read them, obviously. So the first book we have is The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. This book I got for Christmas, and it's actually a Christmassy book, so and it's not really a priority read for me, so I might just wait until next Christmas season to read it, so we'll have to see. And then next is Throttled, the Throttled series. I really love this author. I really loved the Fine Print series. But like it's just not like a priority read for me right now. Like I'd rather read all of those other books than this series, but I'm sure this series is going to be really good. So I would say that this one is probably like at the top of like the books, like the newer books that like aren't a priority. I feel like this one would be like a top one. And then next we have Too Late by Colleen Hoover. I've actually had this book in my room for quite some time. I just like, I don't know, I've just been putting off reading it because I don't know. I don't know, I just have been putting off. And then next we have One of Us Is Back. I read One of Us Is Lying and One of Us Is Next. Yeah, I have the books over here actually, right here. I read this book in 8th grade, and I read this book like maybe like 2 years ago, whenever it came out. So I'm gonna have to reread both of these before I read this, because I remember the ending of the first book, but I don't remember exactly what happens, and I don't remember what happens in the second book, so I'm gonna have to reread all 3 of them, and like, that's just like not exactly a priority for me, so I got this for Christmas, but yeah, so we'll just have to see if I end up getting to it, so we'll see. And then we have Light Lark, which has also been on my TBR for quite some time. I don't know, I just like, I really want to read it. It sounds so interesting. I see the author like pop up like all the time, like on my For You page and stuff, like signing her books. Like I really do want to read it. It kind of is giving me Caraval vibes, which I read this year. Like I finished the last 2 books this year. It's kind of giving me that vibe, so I know I'll like it. It's just like not a priority read to me, like as the other ones I showed. And then we have Belladonna, which is also a series, I believe, or at least has a second book, I'm pretty sure, because I looked it up. I did not know it had more than 1 book, and that's kind of what put this on the non-priority list, because I've had this book for quite some time now also, and like I don't know, like it's just not a priority. Like it would be more of a priority if it was a standalone, but I didn't know it was a series, so yeah, I don't know. Okay. Then next I have Legendborn. This one has also been on my TBR for quite some time. I don't know. This also has a second book that I didn't know about. Just not a priority read for me, I guess. And then we have Defy the Night, which along with Throttled, this one is also like on the higher side of my don't really want to read TBR, or like newer books that like aren't a priority TBR, I mean, because I really love this author. I read A Curse So Dark and Lonely series, and I read Forging Silver into Stars this year. I think that was this year, I'm pretty sure. I really love this author, so like I want to read this, because I also did not know that this was a book series, so that's kind of why it got pushed back a little bit. This one's also been on my TBR for a while, but this one's also higher, like Throttled, so like Throttled and this one could potentially become a priority. And that also could depend on what other books I'll be getting, because my birthday is in March, so I'll probably be getting new books for my birthday then. So like that might push some other books out of my TBR, so we'll have to see. That's why I said that this isn't really set in stone. So before we continue on, I wanted to show you guys that I got this blanket hoodie for Christmas, and I forgot to show it in my Christmas video because I need to get it washed because it has an egg stain on it, because I ate my breakfast with it on and it got stained. But yeah, it's super comfy. I would definitely recommend getting one. It's like so comfy and so soft on the inside. But yeah, anyways, so these are, next I'm going to be showing you the rereads, like the books that I've already read that I want to reread that are a priority to me. So first up we have the Divergent trilogy. Now, I feel like this trilogy is what really got me into reading. Now, I always used to be a reader. Like when I was younger, I had a high reading level. I always used to love reading, but like I feel like this is the book series that really got me into reading like all the time, because I feel like I didn't really start reading like a lot, like prioritize it like until like the 8th grade, which is also when I read these. So this was like one of my favorite book series for a long time, so I really want to reread it for the nostalgia. Yeah, I also am so mad about the movies. They could have turned out way better, but they just didn't. But we're not going to talk about that. I want to reread is Before I Fall. This was like one of my favorite books of all time for a long time. I've read a lot of Lauren Oliver books. I used to love her books a lot. I haven't read one of her books in like maybe 2 or 3 years though, honestly. But I love this. I watched the movie before I read the book, but this book was like one of my favorites. So I don't really like, I know what happens, but like a lot of the stuff in the book is way different from the movie. So that's why I want to do a reread. And then we have Two Can Keep a Secret, which was my favorite Karen M. McManus book. I read all of her books if I haven't told you guys that previously, but I cannot remember for the life of me what happened in this book, but I remember it being a 5-star read. That's why I want to reread it, because, you know, it's a mystery book. So, like, if I don't remember, like, what happened in it, that's, like, even better. So next up, we have the books that I want to reread, but aren't really a priority. So honestly, though, I might get pushed off until 2025. We will see. So first up, we have Things We Know by Heart. This book is like sad, but also like really cute. I remember that. So I remember it being a favorite. So that's why I wanted to reread it, but it's not the biggest priority to me. And then we have The Last to Let Go, which is also by Amber Smith, which is by the one series that I wanted to read. She wrote this book that I said that's a priority read for me. So I put this one lower because, you know, I'll be reading those other 2 Amber Smith books this year. So maybe I'll reread this like another year or something. And then Chemistry Lessons. I don't remember anything that happened in this book at all. So that's why I want to reread it. I don't really remember the plot at all. So yeah. And then we have Little Do We Know. I also don't remember the plot in this book. That's also why I want to reread it. So basically, I kind of just picked books on my shelf that I don't really remember what happened in them and why I still have them. Because, like, if I don't really like books, I tend to get rid of them and give them away to, like, my friends that want to read them. Or, like in general, I'll just sell them. So that's kind of why I want to reread it. And then also this book, Things I'm Seeing Without You. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I don't remember anything about like what I read in this book. Like I don't remember it. I read it like years and years ago. That's also why I want to reread it, because I remember literally nothing. But yeah, those are actually all my books that I have that I want to read on my TBR. So in total, I think like including all the books in the series, I have 46. But like I said, there's also a lot of books that like I have like on my Amazon wishlist that I really, really want to read that might end up becoming priority reads. So this TBR is not set in stone, but these are the books that I hope to read this year. So I guess we'll just see what 2024 brings, and maybe I'll end up reading more than 40 books this year. We'll see, but I highly doubt it, honestly. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any book recommendations for me, be sure to comment down below. And yeah, if any of the books you've seen here, you think I should prioritize more than I am, let me know, because I will take your opinion to heart and maybe it'll make me change my mind. So yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.